episode.
Yes.
What is it? Welcome to the RoNCast. I am Grammatical, the new de facto host, and should probably introduce ourselves and what we're talking about. How about alphabetical order?
Just if you guys can say like when the last time you were you appeared in the RoNCast was, or if you're new.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So Alexa Dov, I guess we're going again.
Okay. Hi, I'm Alexa. I think I was in the most recent episode. Was that what it was? I don't know if you've done one after that.
Yeah, the most controversial Ninjago thingies. Yeah, that was fun.
Yeah, that
5.
was me.
All right. Hi, I'm Angry. I was most recently in the Seabound discussion, episode 4.
Hello, I'm Crusty783. Oh fuck, I
Krusty,
forgot about
are you-
Black. I forgot about Black.
ABC.
Black, I'm sorry. I forgot there was someone with a B in the name.
See.
See how it is.
Gotta be in my real name. I'm kind of offended here.
Oh yeah, Brian.
Hello, my name is Baklava. The latest episode I was in was like every episode, so I don't know.
Very good.
Okay, so no one with another B's in the name. Okay, no. Hello, I'm Crusty783. I'm new to the RoNCast, and give me a minute. I'm gonna go brush my teeth.
Awesome.
Right.
Okay, Ember.
Yeah, I'm Ember. I own the server. It's 2 years old today. Yay. I was in the controversial Ninjago opinions episode last with Alexa Dov. Yeah, and I've appeared off and on some of the other ones, but I haven't been in everyone like Baklava.
All right, yeah, I'm Grammatical. I guess I was in episode 5, which is technically the latest, but I was also in the Ronologues, the Ronologue Rambling, which is our new series, I guess. So if you lost brain cells, I'm very sorry. I'm not paying for your insurance. And well, let's see. I guess that's it. Oink, you wanna?
will be good. Trust me.
Oh, your Ronologue's gonna be great. I hope.
No promises. No promises.
Oh, it's my
Oink,
turn, dude.
yes.
All right. Hey, my name is Oink Master. Or
Okay, I'm
Oink
back. My
Short.
teeth feel way cleaner.
Okay.
Yes.
I'm
Oink,
new.
finish up.
I'm new here. I'm new to the RoNCast. Also, play Dead Space, please. I'm alone.
Oh yes, we'll play Dead Space. Yeah.
Yes, we'll play Dead
Awesome.
Space
Aren't E3
after the RoNCast.
EA making a new
You gotta
one?
make sure the
I've
space is
seen it on my
alive here.
Twitter literally right now that they're going to announce
This
a
is
new
the
game.
RoNCast, not the Dead Spawncast.
Got it.
Okay.
I mean, it is the RoNCast, which means it's a very alive
I mean-
space.
I mean, that Spacecast Trollface.
So
Hmm.
true.
Graham, I think we've gotten everyone.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay.
For
So
good,
we're
Greg. You have to
we
introduce
mentioned-
the man himself,
Uh,
Greg.
no, we don't. So while we're going through this, what is our last conventional episode? The episodes that count was the what is it? Ninjago's problematic points, and in it we mentioned like female characters, certain issues with like the Asian rep and the way Asians or Asian cultures used or caricatured. But in the middle of that, I think we mentioned that we wanted to do a Harumi episode
Yeah.
because we do like the character. She stands out as a female villain and whatnot. So we might as well just do it for you. We don't have anything else to do. And so here's your Harumi episode, I guess. We're going to talk about what's good and bad about her, and what we like about her.
All right. So to structure everything, I have 4 guiding questions that we're going to be looking at one after each other, just so we don't end up talking about the same things again and again. Firstly, I'd like to talk about. I mean, the whole thing that people have with Harumi is that she's a very well fleshed out character. I mean, of all the villains we've seen, Harumi is one of the ones with the most detailed backstory, but also one of the only characters whose entire backstory takes place in the context of the show. She doesn't have anything that happened before the ninja. She's a byproduct of the ninja. And so the first question is whether or not Harumi's motives or her goals or her entire character is justified, if it's relatable or even understandable, or if Harumi's just pure evil. The second question is probably going to be one with a very short answer, but it's a discussion that I've seen pop up quite a lot. And that's, is Harumi dead? Did she survive Hunted? Yes or no? I know
No, I'm gonna say
a lot of the fans are still up in arms about the fact that Harumi had the end that she did. The next question is also one that I see talked about quite a bit. Especially it's happened in the season chats on numerous occasions now. And is Harumi a fascist? Which is a debate I've seen more than once, more than twice probably. I've seen it a surprising number. And finally, as a last question to round up everything, I have is Harumi a good character? Which I think we can probably make the longest discussion. The first three are probably ones we can shorten a little bit. But I really want to get into the last point. Is Harumi a good character? I think all of us already have our own opinions on whether or not Harumi is a good character, but we might come up with some new ideas as we're discussing. And unless anyone has anything else to say, I think
Actually, I've got another question here.
Sure.
An idea here that my friend here, Nut, has proposed. Is she the buyer?
Yeah, we can also talk about that. We can definitely talk about that. We can talk about that in the Is Harumi Dead? Will she come back? Right.
Yeah.
Would we like to get to the first question or the first topic?
Quick clarification.
Sure.
For the first question, it's mainly about her motives, right?
It's her whole personality, her motives and her actions, of course. Granted, it's not always easy to separate the motives and the actions.
Okay, considering we're like building off of the previous episode, maybe as like a starting question or like the second question is something to do with her uniqueness as one of the few female villains in Ninjago.
Well, sure, we could jump off of that first of all. I mean, we did that was in the episode 5. But most of I'm assuming some of the listeners didn't actually listen to the whole 2 hours of episode 5, and Harumi was kind of towards the end. So we could talk about that first if all of you are okay with that.
Yeah, sure.
Right?
That sounds good.
Yeah, I mean,
All right, I guess Ember and Alexa can probably start with that because you two were there, right?
yeah, we were both there. I think the points we mostly brought up. I mean, firstly, Harumi is one of the few female characters that is also a villain. At the time, was there a female villain?
It was
before
her and
Harumi?
Dogshank.
I mean,
Dogshanks
there was
is
Dogshank and Bansha, but they were
She was
only
the
really
first main
like
villain.
they were like
Yeah,
they had like general status. Harumi was like a main villain.
Yeah. The first, and of course now she's been. I mean, we've had one other female villain after that.
Wait, who?
Well,
She's
Asphira
actually-
in.
Oh right, yeah.
Yeah.
Sure is.
I think she serves her
Just
purpose.
gonna throw it out there. Asphira is.
But we will not mention it because we've already done the episode.
Yeah, we did already discuss this. Is the Omega non-binary?
The Omega
mean,
is whatever you want it to
Do
be.
they ever call it he?
I don't think they ever mentioned the Omega by name in the
They don't.
glorious
No,
2
they,
episodes that he
Is
appeared
God,
in.
They
is
do
God
not.
a woman?
Wasn't it 4 episodes?
No, but the Omega didn't appear in the first bit.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, he appears in like second or third. Or they. But I mean,
Yeah,
it's
he
the same
appears
question.
in
Is God a
2,
woman?
3, and 4.
I mean, I'll go
Yeah,
ask
one of
Tommy
them.
afterwards. I'll tweet him and be like, "Hi, is the Omega non-binary?"
No, but what you're forgetting is because he left because of all our stupid questions.
Oh yeah, that's right. Anyways, yes. Harumi, has a. I mean, honestly, thinking back to what we discussed in the last podcast, Harumi is a very solid character, and I think she is both a good representation. I mean, she's not good necessarily. She's a villain. She's a very solid character, and she doesn't fall into a lot of the pitfalls that Ninjago tends to fall into when it comes to female characters. She's not a servant. I mean, we discussed quite extensively the fact that most female characters in the first few seasons, especially, I mean, Nia of course, the Misako and then the parents of the ninja, the few female characters that we had, always tended to be more submissive servant characters that would help the ninja, but they wouldn't lead anything on their own, or tended not to lead anything on their
I
own.
mean, I don't know about that.
Then Harumi is most definitely not a follower, at least in Sons of Garmadon when she's introduced, is not a follower whatsoever.
Yeah, she's a girl boss.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I mean, Harumi is unironically a pretty good girl boss then.
She really
Until that
is
father
Slade,
figure
right?
shows up, yeah.
And I mean, if anything, they kind of play on the idea that Harumi, as the princess and the kind of helpless person that the ninja have to take in and rescue and keep safe on their bounty, turns out to be the leader of the villainous faction that's been hunting them. That's a pretty interesting spin on the whole topic. I mean, it's almost like the
Full
show's
subversion.
taking itself to task and then saying like, "Oh, hey, hang on, maybe
mean,
we
that-
do have some preconceived."
That is a lot of what Sons of Garmadon is, though. Just taking
Yeah.
tropes of the show and flipping them on their head. Like say at the ending.
Is there any other? I mean, I don't know if I forgot anything. Alexa, you were there too, and Graham. Did we? I think that was kind of everything condensed together. I could have forgotten
Yeah,
some major
basically.
points.
Yeah, she's one of the more major, like, female characters that, stands out on her own or doesn't, just exist as an arm for the, men to wield, essentially, or a weapon for men to wield. I remember, like, I guess Dogshank would, be as close as the show got prior to, season 8. And we mentioned season 6 is very much an outlier. But, like, no, prior female characters just didn't exist. And I mean, even with, like, the snakes, you end up with a pink snake because they couldn't think of any female snakes.
That's so
And the
stupid.
pink snake serves absolutely no purpose other than to introduce Scales Jr. as Scales' son.
And that snakes fuck. Yeah.
Yeah, but canon explanation for snake reproduction. This is the content we signed up for.
Yeah,
What if there's like a
Totally
snake
worth it.
store? Taking out the
And-
birds.
Dev, you don't have anything to, like, just, like, object or add nuance to?
Oh, me?
No, Dev. Okay.
Alexa Dov.
What? Sorry, I'm having a bit of a hard time
Like,
hearing.
just to add on to, what Ember was saying, maybe, or what I guess I mentioned. No.
I mean, I think
Yes.
that was everything. I can't really remember what was said. I don't have the best memory, but I think that was everything. I don't know if I have anything else to add about that.
Rusty, were you saying something?
In that case,
No.
we can.
Not that I can recall.
Okay.
I remember I was just saying something, but I have no idea what it was.
I
Wait,
did
we're
have
on
one-
I think I mostly got done anyways.
Wait, we're on the first question, right?
No, we can move to the first question now if you'd like.
Let's
Actually,
just wait for a while.
Maybe we can give everyone a quick moment to think over their opinion of Harumi. I know all of us probably already know, but just to solidify our topics for the next discussion, which is going to, of course, be actually let's open this with a question. I'm going to go through alphabetically, and I'd just like everyone to say quickly, if not how, or not to justify anything, just to say if they think Harumi's motives, her background, her childhood, the trauma she experienced with the ninja, is understandable and relatable. And then furthermore, if those events, that background, justifies her actions in season 8 and season 9. And I guess I can start. I'm going to start at the bottom of the alphabet. So I'm going to go with Oink first.
All right. So her motives make sense. Like, oh, her family died because, oh, look, great power. Ooh, the ninja didn't save her parents for like it makes sense in the whole context, but like, A, the ninja didn't know that happens. B, if they know, they probably won't be saving like 2 people over like, I don't know, the population in Jago City, like what, 1 million or something? Would they rather save like 2 million or 2 people or like 2 million or something like that? I don't know. It makes sense, but like, it's either 2 people or 1 million lives you can save. And like,
Great. Thank you.
Yeah.
Owen.
You're welcome.
Graham, do you want to add your opinion?
Yeah, honestly, I don't really like putting judgment on. I mean, obviously fictional characters, but also like fictional characters who have had to suffer. Like it's similar to like, say, I guess Killmonger from the MCU, or
I mean,
even like
Killmonger from the MCU is
actual
objectively
people.
correct.
I mean, he's objectively correct, but like actual people, like say, Castro Che, or the idea of like making a judgment here on whether or not they are justifiable or whether they're like correct, it usually ends up being patronizing, and it's a very Western lens in a way. But yeah, basically, yeah, I think her motives are justifiable. The ninja didn't save the city in time, and in a way, they did basically kill her parents when they had multiple opportunities to stop it. And I mean, the defense that they happened to be inexperienced at the time still stands. So there's that. But at the same time, needless deaths. So yeah, she's relatable, understandable that she would want like a higher power to like leverage it, or no, to like keep things safe or keep things in control. Justifiable, I don't know. I want, once again, like you don't want to be patronizing or especially not to a fictional character. But yeah, I mean, she could have solved it a different way, certainly. I'm sure we'll get back into that when we talk about how Harumi's a fascist.
Yeah. Who is the next? Oh, God, I should have gone down.
It's you.
It's me.
It's
Oh,
no, it's me.
right.
Oops.
Damn, that's the second time I've
yes.
done this.
So, yes, my opinion on Harumi. I am kind of the opposite of what's been said so far. I don't think Harumi's initial justification is completely morally sound. I mean, sure, her parents died, right? And her then the goal that she takes from that is she wants to take away. I mean, I'm especially focusing on her relationship with Lloyd and her goal to take away Lloyd's father by focuses more on and of course she's both. She's both someone who understands that the ninja might not be the perfect saviors they pretend to be, and someone who is still a child who has been hurt by the ninja extensively. But between the two, I think it is easier to justify her, or I would say I could justify her opinion towards the general position of the ninja more than I could understand her opinion towards the ninja, and especially towards Lloyd with regards to her family's history and her proposed goals for Lloyd's family. Yes. Now it's crusty.
Okay, so I kind of wish there was an alphabet error, because when we went this discussion, I was completely gung-ho on the idea that Harumi's motives are not justified. But honestly, you've changed my mind. Yeah.
Can you pretend that I didn't change your mind?
No, honestly, I can kind of see. I mean, of course, what she did was absolutely ridiculous. But the idea on paper that the ninja are incompetent is something I can get behind, because you can argue all you want that they're kids, which is what she literally argues. I just realized, but you can argue all you want that they're kids and like they're human and that they can only save so many people, and it's like just people versus like armies and stuff. But like at the end of the day, the city has kind of structured itself in a way that its military and police are entirely useless, and these people in pajamas are the only thing stopping it from being subjugated. So I can kind of see the desire to replace the ninja.
Yeah, Borg should probably put some money into that Nindroid army. Maybe they won't get killed immediately.
The last time Borg built an android army, it kind of did try to destroy the city. So
Yeah,
Yeah,
let's just
I
get
doubt he's going to
hacked
get
for
the go
35th
ahead from
billionth
the mayor.
time.
Yeah, he really weakened his forces, though.
And now they just like don't know, protect his sock drawer or something.
Nothing like privatized military.
But yeah, obviously, like what she did with that was completely ridiculous because she didn't like throughout the whole of what she did. She didn't realize that she had essentially became the devourer or created a devourer. You know what I mean? But like, yeah, I know I can kind of see a motive now as like a justifiable thing and not just like what that's ridiculous. So yeah, no, I kind of think her motive itself is justified. Now I think about it.
All right. I believe that moves on to Baklava.
Well, I do see where she's coming from. I do agree with her motives. Like, the ninja are quite incompetent, as Krusty said, especially in season 1 when they just started. Like, they only have been ninja for like so long, and then they have to like defeat the Great Devourer and stop them. And then they just fail completely, and then people die. I mean, they did eventually kill the Devourer, but like they could have handled it way better and stopped it before it was even released. But like her actions are like, yeah, whatever Ember actually kind of said is what I'm agreeing with actually.
About the incompetent thing, if I can just mention one thing, because like this is what I thought about when we were discussing incompetence. They spent so long dawdling with throwing the fang blades down the volcano.
Oh yeah, yeah. They could have
Literally,
just taken care of
if they just stop the what's the word, like I don't know the word, but like stop the being all fancy about it and just chuck them down there and get it done with.
Yeah, they were
Then-
being a little dramatic.
Yeah. Oh, that's it. That's the word. Stop being so dramatic about it and just chuck them in. They could have stopped so many people from dying.
I think that's something interesting that you say, and I would agree with you. The ninja were being really dramatic and not caring about their goals. That's an accusation that tends to get leveled at Harumi, right? I've seen
That's
in
true.
discussions about Harumi, especially when her eventual actions get brought up. They're like, oh, well, she didn't have to go so far. She should have been less emotional. She should have been less dramatic. And really, the whole issue came about because for children were being overly dramatic instead of going forward and fixing the mess they created. I think that's quite interesting. That's never occurred to me before, but you're absolutely right with it.
I mean, I think there is somewhat of a difference there. I mean, it's like this traumatized teenager, like having essentially emotional meltdowns every 5 minutes, and then there's like 4 kids laughing at some movie they saw, probably. So I think there is probably some distinction, but like they should have just chucked them down there and went home.
To be fair, those fang blades do look really good.
Yeah,
I don't think
I-
that was the.
No, when they were holding them, I was kind of like, do we really need to get rid of these stuff?
But
All right.
That's angry.
Is it angry? Yeah, angry's next.
Yeah, so I've got a few things. I largely agree with, I guess, the ideas in discussion. But I guess to add a few things. So one thing is that Krusty has brought this up a few times. The idea from Skybound in the aftermath of possession, where the defeat of Preeminent involved the near complete destruction of Styx and the resulting like public mistrust of the ninja. It's an idea Krusty has brought up a few times, and I think I like am beginning to agree with it more, especially in the context of Harumi and the Oni trilogy, which is that instead of abruptly concluding the whole like the police don't trust the ninja, the public doesn't trust the ninja, just ending that in Skybound. Instead, if you extend it through Hunted, it provides a much more solid basis for everything that Harumi does, and like
Never thought of it that way.
yeah, and it
Dude,
also heightens the emotional stakes.
Yeah, I wish that happened even more now. I would just absolutely love if the Ninja Wanted stuff continued outside of Skybound and ended with like them going to ask for help, storming the Temple of Resurrection.
I mean, hypotheticals in general are pretty. Yeah. But like that actually would be an interesting, like maybe Luke Cunningham or something is from Styx or something.
But I just always wish that they kept the wanted stuff going. Like the ninja being wanted is such a cool idea.
Yeah.
Wait, isn't the ninja supposed to be like super secret and stuff?
Yeah, I know. It would
Yeah,
have
that's
added
been
to
brought
that.
they
since
kind of
like
run around with
And
checking
as
out
we
the
know,
one or
flying
two.
jets.
as
But
I
then
think
they're
at least
supposed
some
to
of
be
us know, I'm like
They
the
buy an
king of
apartment in
unpopular
their G,
opinions.
so I'm in.
They have an
I mean, they
action
did have-
toy series.
Oh yeah, that's
And the-
right.
Yeah, they need big
They're
jets.
supposed
But yeah,
There's
king of
supposed to be-
unpopular opinions here. I really like the wanted stuff from Skybound. I think it was. I may even go as far as to say one of my favorite bits about the season.
Damn. I mean, I liked
Yeah.
it too,
I really
but
wish
it's
they continued it.
overshadowed by everything else. In my...
Oh no,
I mean,
the
wait.
rest of the season is fantastic, but I think it's such a solid idea just having the ninja be wanted and kind of because after rebooted, they kind of threw the whole stealth thing completely out of the
Yeah.
window.
I mean, even in
Like, there's
season 2, like they once again they buy an apartment in their ninja outfits.
Yeah,
Kai
but like
literally goes to a party to be a pinata.
I suppose, but in rebooted, they don't even have like full mask. They just walk around with like a scarf on their face, which I get was like to hide the technology in that, but it kind of defeats the point of like hiding your identity. I don't know. I don't
you,
know.
you can hide
I
half your
think that's.
face.
I don't know. I think that's just me being nitpicking and biased. But
It's just a
Um,
little.
I think if they kept the wanted stuff going, they could have incentivized that a bit more again. I think it would have been fun.
Yeah. I do have a few other thoughts more directly connected to Harumi. Basically, deciding whether a character is or isn't justified tends to hinge on some sort of objective, rational explanation for everything that they do. I don't think if you use that process that Harumi can be described as justified because the things that she claims to care about and that she uses as her motivation, she then, as everyone else has pointed out, she then subverts it in Sons of Garmadon and Hunted by essentially inflicting that harm upon people just like her in Ninjago. But I think the question of like justifying Harumi isn't answered just by that rationality. You have to look at Harumi's emotional logic, and from there, I think it's a lot easier to understand where she's coming from. Not just in terms of I think the ninja being competent, but also I think, or rather incompetent, but also Garmadon being the one who effectively saved the city. I think that's where a lot of her um Garmadon being the savior is what informs a lot of her decisions and why she wasn't just placed in the aftermath of Styx, for example. Which is like Garmadon being the one is why she decides to resurrect him. It's why she focuses on Lloyd so much as opposed to any other ninja or attacking the ninja as a whole. It's why she goes for this whole like emotional, physical torture and also like taking over Ninjago. Because that whole thing is Garmadon's deal as well, and she like identifies herself with him.
I mean, I think probably also the reason that she tortured Lloyd is because he was the leader of the team.
He wasn't
Yeah.
the leader of the team at the time, though.
No, but currently,
He is.
like for
He's
all
the-
the
he's
time
the
that it
current
matters,
leader.
Lloyd is
Oh,
the
he was.
leader.
He wasn't
Yeah.
even like. Yeah.
Yeah, he is. Since the ending of Hands of Time, he's been the leader.
I mean, even technically since season 3 or 4.
Yeah, he could
But
make
yeah.
that argument.
I mean, I guess you could make the argument that Lloyd was the leader the second he first faced Garmadon in season 2, but
I mean, no, yeah. In season 5, they specifically say that's why Lloyd's the leader.
Yeah. So he started in 4 or 3, and
Yeah.
then he.
Then he became
to be
master
fair, the
himself.
only I mean after the pilots in season 1 where Cole's kind of the leader, or at least that was a concept thrown around in a lot of the background
In
material.
season 1, they don't seem to have a real leader, honestly.
Sanjay
No, but
Wu.
on like on the
In the books, I know they.
in the books and on like the background information, it was Cole, but essentially you're right. It's Sensei Wu all throughout the show until Sons of until Hands of Time, of course. When Wu disappears, but Wu is also targeted by Harumi. Actually,
why?
here's an interesting thought I've just had. Harumi did know that the child was Wu, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. That because she knew because she knew she needed the Oni blood.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Yeah. So it does hold up. She did also target Wu.
Okay. Dove, what do you got?
Well, I mentioned this last time. I'm a major Harumi apologist. I take it very personally when I take it so personally when people hold her accountable for her actions. So I do think that she was justified in her way of thinking because obviously a ton of stuff happened that was already mentioned. But also, what was it gonna? Also, it's just like she thought she was doing the right thing. She thought that bringing Garmadon back would like kind of help in a way, and obviously it didn't. She didn't really know that. And in season 9, you can see her kind of backing away from her original idea because it wasn't working the way she thought it would. So that kind of, I feel like that in and of itself kind of shows that she didn't have malicious intentions exactly for everyone else. She did for Lloyd, but for the people of the city, she wasn't evil or anything. I mentioned that as well.
I mean, here's the thing. I would agree with that, but like, if you want to argue that on like the first episode to the episode where Garmadon like chokes her out, I think you'd have a solid case. But after that, she kind of just like goes back on that and goes like full fash until episode 92, where she realizes she's wrong. So I think it's all largely just down to her wanting a father figure, really. And when Garmadon wasn't providing that for her, she kind of started to back up on that.
Well, it's almost a little bit like a coming of age story. You know the kind of coming of age story where it's like a character has never known their parental figure, and then something happens, they meet their parental figure, or they find out the story behind their parental figure, and they're like, all right, I can grow from this. I don't need their validation. With Harumi, it's almost like that. She has this idea of Garmadon, and of course, the idea of Garmadon she has is the savior of the city, the Garmadon that killed the Devourer, and not the Garmadon that wanted to take over Ninjago. And when she then meets the Garmadon, at first, of course, he fits her view, because at first Garmadon doesn't really do anything except hurt Lloyd, which is what she wanted him to do all along. But then, when Garmadon starts to abuse Harumi, and of course, and Harumi's allies, and there's the scene, of course, where Garmadon crushes Mr. E. Then you can really see Garmadon. No, sorry, not Garmadon. You can see Harumi start to think and start to almost make a new decision in her mind, and she comes really close. I think. Of course, this is just me watching the show. I think Harumi comes quite close to making the decision. Hey, I don't want to support Garmadon anymore. I want to distance myself from him. But she doesn't actually make that choice. And I think in a way it's quite respectable that she's like, no, I can realize that I disagree with Garmadon, but I'm still going to go towards my goals. I don't agree with her goals then. And from that point on, I don't think Harumi really is I mean, you could still defend her, of course, but she's not as worthy of support as she is earlier in the show. But from that point on, she still sticks to her goals. She still sticks to her motive of, in her way, fixing the world. And that's a point I think we could use to jump into the next topic, which is something I want to think about. Still in regards to the same question we had before.
I was gonna, yeah.
Do you think Harumi redeemed herself?
No, not at all.
Nah, not really.
She saved like 3 people and killed thousands.
I mean, she tried to, but she wasn't given enough time because she died immediately after.
Yeah. Saying that Harumi redeemed herself is like saying that the ninja saved the city in season 1.
That's actually really
Yeah.
interesting.
I really wish we got more of a like full redemption arc for her. I would love like a full fleshed out thing for her, but I also think it would be kind of inorganic to have her come back. So I know we're never going to get
I think
that.
it's fine if like
Let's
a
get
villain
that giant
ends up
tower on already.
evil.
Ooh, let's go!
Well, here's something that I've argued quite often with people about Harumi. I don't think Harumi's actions show a deviation from her overall motives. Like oftentimes when we have a villain redemption arc, like with Garmadon, when Garmadon gets granted, Garmadon's redemption arc is kind of not an eternal redemption arc. He doesn't personally see the error of his ways and then come back around, but something else happens from the outside. Have we had any villain in Ninjago that gets like convinced that they're wrong?
Yeah,
Technically,
Kagami.
Moro.
Oh yeah,
Kagami.
Moro. Yeah, Moro's an excellent example. Moro
Kagami.
sees the error of his
Bleh.
ways, sees what's happened, sees the damage he's done, and it's like, wait, I reject this. I don't think that happened with Harumi. I
mean,
think
actually, I was going to
Harumi-
mention this. Well, finish up.
Oh sure, I can finish up and then you could state. We might be thinking the same thing.
Wait, did that Moral die? Wait,
Yeah, Moro
you
does
go
die.
first.
Moro does die.
And
But
then came
Moro,
back.
he does come back in Day of the Departed, but that's not really.
Sadly.
Shut up.
He's the best part of that.
Let Ember finish.
Yes. Anyways,
Alright.
I
It's
don't
positive.
think
David Shane.
I don't think Harumi changed her views at all. Harumi's view from the very beginning is the city is in danger because of the ninja. And her goals are, first, of course, hurt the ninja, get rid of the ninja, and make the ninja see the error of their ways. But her second goal all along has been help the city, right? And I don't think Harumi putting herself in harm's way to rescue those people in the trap building is in any way a deviation from what she's been believing all along. I think if there had been a building that collapsed because of Harumi or because of the ninja, even at the very beginning of Harumi's arc, before she resurrects Garmadon, or even just after she resurrects Garmadon when she's at the height of her power, I don't think Harumi would have hesitated to try to help the people. And because of that, I don't really think it can be seen as a redemption arc, because she's not changing her views. She's still, I mean, I think it's perfectly reasonable to imagine that Harumi, in her very last moments, was still utterly convinced that Garmadon and Garmadon's plans and Harumi's plan that had succeeded to resurrect Garmadon was the right choice. I don't think she regretted that at all. Well, I mean, I don't think it's clear that she regretted it at all, and I think the option is still open as a viewer to understand Harumi as someone who still does believe in her goals and in a way died for her goals. Like Harumi's goal all along was to be a better protector of the city, or to create a better protector of the city in Garmadon than the ninja were. And when Harumi sacrifices herself to save some people, in of course a mirror of the way her parents died, she's continuing that trend. She's not redeeming herself, because in her eyes she hasn't done anything wrong, and she's still doing exactly what she would have done at the very beginning. At least that's my view on it.
That's actually really
Okay.
I never thought of that.
Honestly, I gotta completely disagree.
Oh sure. I'm fine with this.
I was gonna
Here's the thing,
finish
here's the
my
thing.
bit. But
I feel like Harumi was like her goal stayed the same. I agree with that part, but I think she definitely did change and end up regretting her actions, because, like, in the actual scene where she dies, you can see like regret on her face, because like after she sees that like the Colossus caused literally something exactly like how her parents died, I think that kind of completely destroyed like what she thinks of like. I'm saying a lot of likes here, but like, you know what I mean? Like, I think that bit completely destroys what she thinks of the idea of like Garmadon coming back, and you can kind of see that reflected in her face. Like,
yeah, I can't
she's standing on the tower.
kind of get that, but at the same time, I might say that it, for Harumi at least, that could be a further reinforcement of why she's right, because when the ninja created their problem, when the ninja created the Great Devourer, which in Harumi's mind, the ninja are the reason the Great Devourer existed, not Pythor, the ninja. The ninja didn't clean up after their mess. The ninja just destroyed the Great Devourer and went on with their days. Harumi went and helped people. She didn't just leave them there. And I think for a character like Harumi, who is outwardly someone who rejects like those little cues, but is very much a product of her actions and the things that she's done. Like there's the background. What is it? The one with Garmadon. It's like a journal thingy that Harumi wrote. I'm not sure if it's canon or not.
Garmadon.
Oh, yeah, no, Garmadon rules.
Yeah, yes.
I love that book. It's so good.
In that one, she's very. It's clear that she's a little bit self-obsessed, and I mean, not self-obsessed, as she thinks quite highly of herself, and I think I mean, which is obviously clear because she tries to take over the city and she does it. She the quiet one, is in charge. Everyone respects the quiet one. She her doing something as important as saving citizens, especially from an event that so closely mirrors the events in her childhood that resulted in the death of her parents. I think for Harumi, even though she didn't live very long, in those last moments, I think that her saving that family might have been even more of a reinforcement for her to believe that she was doing the right thing all along. Although I do think you're right, at least with the topic that, I mean, when you look at Harumi's face, of course it's just a Lego figure. Right, you can't. There's only so much emotion you can have in a Lego figure's face.
Especially in this time.
You can see a little bit of.
But like, the thing is, and cool thing I just noticed that I want to mention before it falls into obscurity in the pits of my brain forever. In season 8, when like both of the times Harumi's like view is challenged by Lloyd when he's like all of the victims you'll create, and when she's on the tower, she's standing on top of the big tower. But regardless of my pedantic random parallels I find, I think up to when she saves the family, she has the same motives throughout, but she's going about it wrong and doesn't realize that until she saves the family. And then she starts to have the, oh my god, what have I done moment, and then dies. Which is what I think is so good about the character. Because literally, right as she started to realize what she was doing was wrong, and that she maybe should atone for it, she just immediately dies horribly. And I think it's really impactful.
Yeah. What is it? I was thinking, like, going off Alexa Dov's like low assessment of Harumi. What is it? Somewhat more logical. You know, she's a little bit more. She has her doubts as soon as Garm kills Mr. E. But like, acknowledging the Oedipal, aspects of it or whatnot. She seems to like still be mostly logical. She happens to have. I mean, she happens to idolize Garmadon, but as soon as Garmadon does something she doesn't expect, killing somebody or killing a robot, it basically follows up with her like trying to convince Garmadon to like redirect his energy almost, by becoming his daughter or whatnot. I just thought that was like, leading into like Alexa Dov's kind of more logical but still very emotionally driven kind of perspective, I think.
Now, here's the thing. I don't really think that's Harumi reconsidering more than it is just her fearing. Because in in that scene, the Daughter of Darkness scene, she also said she's completely open to just like obeying him at that point. And that essentially whether Garmadon just like chops her up right there is all down to what he wants, really. And also the fact that Harumi brings a sword thinking she can fight Garmadon, which is pretty funny, but while trying to defend herself. I think those bits of doubt aren't really doubt more than they are just fear of getting torn them from them, rather than like her doubting Garmadon, to be entirely honest.
That's why when people like bring up the fact that she stayed after he tried to kill her, that's why I always have like kind of not a problem, but I think it's weird because like he was gonna kill her if she left too.
Yeah.
And a lot of my defense of Harumi comes with how old I think she is. And considering that, like she has even more reason to be afraid and just stay because she's so scared. So
Yeah,
I
she's
always
like
have like a problem with that.
She's like, what, 15, 16? Where the hell is she gonna go if she leaves Garmadon?
I mean, one thing
Ninja
to
aren't
consider
exactly gonna
is,
take her in.
like, I think as Graham mentioned in the episode itself, what she says is, "Whatever your will, I will abide," and then she wants Garmadon to be her like effective father figure. That's like, yes, she brings a sword because she's scared of what he'll do to her, but everyone knows that like if Garmadon really wants to like choke her out, like a sword isn't going to do anything about that. The sword is more for her like self-reassurance, and then in this same scene she gives it up as a way of like giving herself up to Garmadon. So while there is that element of fear, I wouldn't say it's like she feels coerced into like completely surrendering herself to him, which is what she pretty much does.
See that?
Mm-hmm.
I just want to comment on that real quick. Going back to the Temple of Resurrection and having an existential crisis is like top tier writing. I've got nothing to follow up on that with. I just wanted to say that.
We love that. We love that.
I love that.
I did also have a more broader response to everything, unless someone else wants to go.
You can go first.
Okay, it might take a while, so if you have something shorted, you can go ahead.
Yeah. All right. Harumi as a character, I mean, not only she's a good villain, she's one of the better villains in Ninjago, to be honest. Like, not only her actions justify, like, oh, Ninja didn't do nothing to save my parents. Me. It makes sense. Like, her actions make sense, and her, death is, sad and all, which is ironic because her death is the same death as her parents. Must run to the family or something.
How did I not notice that?
And
Right, I
it,
felt
like,
really stupid now.
like her plans, yeah, it makes sense. But like, why do you need a biker gang? You could have just rounded up a lot of mercs, go to Ninjago City, start making havoc. Boom, declare yourself city. Done. Solved.
That's kind of what she did.
Yeah, that is true.
Okay, well, yeah, thanks, man.
There's no real explanation for where the Sons of Garmadon came from, but essentially,
Girl boss energy.
so attractive.
I mean,
It would be nice
she
to
has-
actually get some
She has royal
idea.
palace money, so the Sons of Garmadon are definitely getting paid handsomely.
Oh
I
yeah,
don't know,
yeah,
it would be nice if they were an organic kind of movement.
yeah. I mean, we never really
just
looked
like
at whether or not
crazy.
the Sons of Garmadon actually believe in anything. Well, they did refer to
They're a
him
big biker gang.
I mean, Kilo has some enthusiasm about the plan. He's like, oh, they're excited to beat Garmadon.
There's also
Yeah, that's
So-
right. You're right.
Kilo definitely has enthusiasm about the plan, and I imagine Mr. E's kind of indifferent on it because like he's a robot.
Mm-hmm.
And
Hey, where are
Ultraviolet,
you going to?
whatever.
Oh,
leads
here's
to
a really interesting thought
messing
that's
stuff up.
just popped into my mind.
Yeah.
The only real time we saw any sort of popular opinion in the season 1 period was the Take Back Ninjago rally. Remember when they all stood around with their snakes? There was a lot of people at the Take Back Ninjago rally, and the Take Back Ninjago rally, the rally against snakes, was then interrupted by the single biggest snake in the whole world. So I'd imagine that quite a few people that might have been at the Take Back Ninjago rally with some anti-snake opinions from the get-go.
Wouldn't it be funny if Ed was just a member?
I was about to say Ed and Edna are probably members of the Sons. I can definitely see.
You just cut off.
At the least, Ed and Edna are probably donators to the Sons of Garmadon cause.
Sons of Garmadon
Wait,
is
what-
ties to the Ninjago equivalent of the KKK.
Exactly.
No.
Yes, they are.
God damn it.
I mean, Take Back Ninjago rally. You can kind of see why it exists, given the fact that the whole invasion was happening.
I mean, the
But,
snakes had
like-
only come out of the underground for like a couple months at most by that time, and they were already organizing rallies telling the snakes to go back to where they came from. It's just quite funny.
I mean, to be fair, the snakes were like launching attacks on the city, and like, just kind of ruining things for like everyone. Like they were literally the villains of the week of season 1.
Okay, but
Oh,
consider
unbelievable.
Seabound spoilers. Antonia
Oh, yeah.
saying you.
Oh no.
Oh,
yes.
right. Yeah, no, that I don't have.
It's
a
probably
defense
just, like,
for, given
ambient
Antonia's
kind of thing.
dad was probably in the Sons of Garmadon.
Antonia's dad went to the Take Back Ninjago rally. He
I mean,
organized it.
honestly, it probably has less to do with like the what is it? Whether or not the citizens have a certain perspective on like security or whatnot.
Yeah,
And
but like I mean,
they're all kind of
after
generally
Break the
racist,
Power,
but they have different perspectives.
there's probably still some bad blood between some of the
Yeah.
citizens and snakes, and I mean, you can't really blame them after the Great Devourer attack.
And I mean, we are putting this in perspective of like actual racism, and the
Yeah.
difference between snakes and minorities is that snakes are, I mean, distinctly different and also very recently emerging.
Yeah, and also minorities didn't release a world-ending snake recently.
Mm.
Is that?
No,
That's
no,
it.
no. That's our plan for next week.
Yeah.
Us immigrants are going to release the gigantic python on Tuesday.
Awesome.
Best of luck with
Awesome.
your endeavors. They're excited to see
Okay.
how it shakes out.
Okay, I know this is kind of a weird like thing, but I like if I was able to change anything Sons of Garmadon, I want to make it like the Sons of Garmadon be like a secret group, kind of like the KGB or CIA or
I
any or like Perseus from Black Ops Cold War, something like that. And I mean, oh,
it would
look,
be
we're a
nice if they had
biker gang.
infiltrators.
Yeah,
I
something
don't
like
the
that.
biker gang thing.
Sons of Garmadon
When
was
you come
secret
down to it,
more
like,
than Harumi
this
was
stuff
in
is-
the palace.
This stuff is designed first, and then like the story comes second for the most part. Yeah, exception being Skybound, which is why it's so based. But I mean, Sons of Garmadon was basically just playing out. We've got a biker gang. Why don't we just? Why don't you guys handle the writing side of this thing? So it's. I don't know about this KGB CIA stuff.
I feel like with the biker gang thing, it could be like they can easily be destroyed by like one person, which is Kiryu from Yakuza. But he doesn't exist.
Awesome.
Yeah.
I mean, to be fair, the first one Jitsu Master did completely annihilate the Sons of Garmadon.
Would have been nice if the Sons of Garmadon did happen to be like bigger and more representative.
I think it would be neat if we saw. I mean,
I'd love
all the
to
Sons of
see-
Garmadon in Cryptarian prison.
Like
You
currently.
know,
I
You know
am
what I
going
would
to after
absolutely
this.
love to have seen. Oh, sorry.
After this RoNCast, I'm going to go to the Snake Jaguar episode where you see all the Sons of Garmadon in Laffy's karaoke barn, and I'm going to count them. And then I'm going to go to the shot of Cryptarian prison. I'm going to count the Sons of Garmadon there, and I'm going to see if they actually
They're
did
not
lock
very
them all as Sons of
representative. They're not
Garmadon.
very representative, honestly.
Wasn't the big
But
guy?
yeah,
in
I would
Sons
have
of
really
Garmadon?
loved to have seen some serpentine Sons of Garmadon.
Yo.
Like, say, just take like the Luke Cunningham torso and just throw like a spitter head on it or something.
It might be a little bit like actual biker gangs where you have, different races and different gangs. Yeah, you
mean,
got
I
the
don't-
Mayans.
I don't know if you'd
I
have
think
it.
it'd be so sick if the next human army had some serpentine in it.
Yes,
Mm.
yes, for real. We had Clancy as a serpentine representation.
Yeah,
and
have that, but like
that was superb.
I love Clancy.
I love Clancy also.
We all,
Yeah, we all love
I
Clancy.
have
I
yet to
love
meet someone who
Clancy.
hates
Clancy's
Clancy.
I straight up
No,
have
like
not met
Clancy.
anyone ever who dislikes Clancy. He's just so cool.
I know I'm Clancy. Suffer.
This is now a Clancy appreciation cast.
Yeah, we're
I
changing the topic.
Oh no, please don't. Okay. I mean, I enjoy Clancy as a character, but his name.
He's so content being in an army of genocidal pirates. You can't help but be happy for him.
And he's like, yeah, I
Yeah,
watch the deck
I love
better than anyone
genocide.
else.
He's just such a happy guy.
No offense, but Clancy's name is related to Tom Clancy, the guy who made literally any books. I'm sad.
Oh, nice.
Tom
It's
Clancy?
Yeah,
Tom
Tom Clancy. Yeah, him.
Yeah, not a fan of the guy. What else?
I want to clarify, I do not consider
Oh yeah, no, we
genocide
were
in
waiting
the
for
country.
Angry to finish the summary thing of our.
Oh yeah,
general
I
idea.
had one thing that a few people were talking in chat. It's just it might take a little bit. Okay, so I think I have like a big disagreement with most of what we've been saying so far, in that I don't think that Harumi truly cares about Ninjago. Like maybe a little, but I don't think she truly cares about Ninjago. So the first thing is that in Game of Masks, when Lloyd asks Harumi about what is it, like feeding the poor and like acting scared, it was all an act, and then she says, yeah, it was an act. So first of all, that's a reason why that's not something she really believes in, and then also that feeds into how she's like reversing tropes. Like you'd expect like you'd expect her as like the justified character to actually believe in what she's saying. But that's the other thing. She's not reliable for saying what she actually believes in. What she actually believes in is Garmadon as his father figure and hurting Lloyd and hurting the ninja for how they wronged her. When she says that she wants to make Ninjago great again with the help of Lord Garmadon or Emperor Garmadon, to sit Ninjago on its right course, like that's just a bunch of baloney she tells herself. She doesn't truly believe in it, and like quite obviously so, because for the entire next season, she just busts up Ninjago, takes over the city, everyone's miserable, everyone hates it, and she's just standing there at the side all the whole time.
I gotta disagree.
Actually, that's
I
pretty
think
valid.
No,
the
that
point
kind
was
of makes.
I think the point
Yeah,
was
that's
that she
valid.
believed it, but was wrong going about it the absolutely wrong way. I think that was what they were trying to get across.
I feel like I mean, you
he
can say it's a mix of both.
does a
Honestly.
little, but also doesn't that much.
Also, you could argue that that scene where she says feeding the poor was an act was like her mask off moment, which well, I mean it literally was, but like
No, yeah.
I feel like everything said after that in like her angry screaming tone is probably true.
But I don't think that's necessarily the case. I think it's correct that she's going mask off there, but it's possible also that when she's going mask off, the things she says to herself are, like in and of themselves, still kind of another layer of a mask. It's just until she dies, she doesn't take that final mask off.
Yeah, I better check this chat and not see any mask jokes.
I honestly, I think I got disagree. I can't understand.
Okay, good.
Like,
That's good. Okay.
I cannot
Yeah.
take that mask seriously.
That's what the point of the mask is, guys.
Shut up, Ember. Oh my god.
Thank you, Black
Oh my
Pepper.
God.
Yes, just
Hermie just
No,
needs
no,
to
no,
take
no,
the
no,
normal
no,
dose.
no.
No. Don't talk about Dream. Don't talk about Dream. I hate Dream. I hate talking about Dream. Don't talk about Dream. It's
Yes.
the only thing
Okay.
people have talked about in mature and serious discussion for like the past month. And I'm so sick of it.
No, shut up.
Hmm.
Enough.
Agreed.
Ember.
Hey, Number, would you be interested in some Scott Cawthon discussion?
No.
Shut
No.
Please
I
stop.
created that channel to.
How about call me Carson?
I don't know who that is. So. Oh,
Yeah.
isn't he the
Bruh.
pedophile?
Yeah,
Let's
it's
get
that one.
back to Harumi discussion.
thought you
Yeah,
were
Hey,
I
you
think-
guys like not?
Okay.
No, let's just
That
get
was
back to it.
that was a good interruption. I think we could use this because we've been at it for like an hour and 10 minutes now.
Yeah.
Let's go to the next question. It's kind of a double question. The
Yeah.
first question is
Okay.
Harumi dead? I think we can all answer that.
Yeah.
Harumi's dead.
I
She's
mean,
just
to
dead.
be fair,
A building,
she had a-
a building
kind
fell
of
on
point.
top of her.
a building fell on her. She's probably fine.
All right,
Kind
Harumi's
of
dead.
This is
Also,
the fabulous
she
Hudson
was in
Hornet
Prime
movie.
Empire. She's fine.
Yeah,
Alright.
see, for the longest time, I just
continuation
or
would
I'm going to
be-
do a really unpopular kind of like counterpoint here. Like, I mean, yes, a building fell on top of her, but this is fiction, and what is it? You know, the kind of like narrative kind of
They could just
I guess
retcon her death.
parallelism is like
Yeah,
right
but,
there.
like-
You introduce her essentially. I mean, you introduce her in the castle, but like her first real scene is essentially like her just like hopping from like what is it? Hopping from like roof to roof, and then Lloyd and the audience realizes that, oh yeah, this is Harumi, and so she's hopping from roof to roof, and she dies on the top of a roof. You know, you would think that's supposed to like mean something.
Graham, I'm changing your nickname
Nah.
to the fabulous Hudson Hornet.
I don't support this. I'm just
Now, here's the thing about
It's
bringing
very
back
interesting.
Harumi. If you bring back Harumi, you've kind of, in one fell swoop, invalidated the past like 3 years of Lloyd content. A lot of it
Yeah,
hinges
that's
on
the
the
thing.
fact that Harumi
Yes,
is dead
Lloyd is
and he
now an
can't.
incel.
Yeah, and he can't put that demon to rest fully. That's kind of like what a lot of it hinges on. So if you bring back Harumi, you've kind of just
Yeah.
said, no, all that was for nothing.
All right, so here's my
I
question.
just
to
find it
that.
interesting how they.
Wait, here's my
Yeah.
answer to the question. What Ember said: Harumi should stay dead. Like what Krusty said, it would basically invalidate her death and everything, which it did. Plus 3
No,
years.
not that. It would invalidate how Lloyd processed it.
Yeah, I was completely
Yeah.
kidding. So
Yeah, that.
it's interesting that
Plus, she dies in a building. I'm pretty sure no one can
in a
survive
building,
a
but-
building. I could believe that. I played Battlefield 4. No one will survive a building.
Yes,
She was
at all.
on top of it.
Battlefield
I can't
4.
confirm.
I was in Battlefield 3 one time. Actually, no, I've never played Battlefield.
I mean,
Yeah,
I,
good.
I,
Fellow
agreed, I
video
agreed with the
games.
Minecraft server once. She's probably dead.
I played Jetpack Joyride once.
Yeah, what the hell are video games, honestly? What
You,
are you
Anyways.
should,
kids
you know what you
talking
should
about?
play, Ember? You should play
That's
the
good.
season 1 game.
Mm.
I think I did.
The season 1 game. You mean Super Mario 64, right?
No.
Guys, we're getting very sidetracked. So I'm gonna bring
Yeah.
us back to the topic. Do we want to actually continue discussing is Harumi dead? That's kind of a boring topic. We could go to the next one, or we
She
could.
is
Yeah,
dead.
next one.
I
He's
mean,
dead.
I'm just.
That's
I mean,
final.
right. Here is my nuanced commentary on Harumi being dead. Is she dead? Yes.
Definitely.
I think.
I mean,
think
she
we
was
can
in
on.
Prime
all-
Emperor. What if she was real?
What is Prime Empire Harumi?
Just
I think
kill.
Harumi only lives in one place, and that's in Lloyd's mind, rent free.
Yeah,
Yo,
yeah, pretty much.
what if Unagami just
I'm gonna go plug my
revived
PS4
Harumi's
here.
dad's corpse?
I don't think Unagami could get at Harumi's
I mean,
death.
he literally got a portal. He could just hire the mechanic if he wanted to.
Okay, I'm back.
Just to troll Lloyd.
She died with a troll face on her face.
I do think we agree that like Harumi being alive is probably quite unlikely. I think a slightly more interesting question could be, I guess, do you think that her story is done and
Yeah.
therefore that bringing her back wouldn't serve any purpose, or do you see a potential purpose for bringing her back?
I'd really like to. I think the chances of us getting a Lloyd season in the near future is pretty high, and I'd like some of that Lloyd season to focus on it was hinted at in season 11, and it was explicitly stated pretty on the nose in season 12 in Master of the Mountain season 13 Master of the Mountain when Lloyd is like princesses, they're all the same. It's clear that Lloyd is not over Harumi, neither person Harumi nor what Harumi did to him. And I think it would be nice if a future Lloyd season could be somewhat focused on Lloyd struggling to overcome his past. Almost like he did in season 1. But of course, now he's trying to overcome the mistakes he made as a ninja. And I think it would be nice if we had Harumi feature into that quite heavily, because Harumi is almost like Lloyd's biggest mistake, right?
Yeah.
There's not much Lloyd has done that has failed as spectacularly as his relationship with Harumi. And I think it would be quite nice if we could have a maybe like an inner monologue with Lloyd and Harumi, or with Lloyd and his imaginary Harumi that helps him come to terms with things. I think that could be cool.
That would be sick.
Yeah, that would be really neat.
That would be really awesome. Here's the thing. I think you've got to kind of tread lightly with a Lloyd getting over Harumi story. For many reasons. One, on the basis that they kind of did it.
And that
I think they should have the Kai season next, and then use that to tie into the Lloyd season. They kind of
I know
like
they're bringing back Skylar, but like
they kind of
it
did that
really-
in Secrets, actually.
at this point, it's basically Lloyd's entire thing is like with Harumi or with Garm. And yes, he has like a relationship with the ninja, but it does feel a little isolated.
Here's the thing, though. I think the opening of Master of the Mountain did like a really good job at quelling that concern for me. Well, like Lloyd playing the video game of Cole.
Oh yeah.
Because I feel like what the seasons after 11 really needed to hammer in is to show us why Lloyd didn't just stay with Akita. I think they really needed to hammer that in and show us why him staying in Ninjago is a good call. And I think the opening of Mountain did that really well.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's definitely had more dynamics like with other
Also,
people.
I feel like
Even
I
Steve
feel like
Jobs
he's
said
been
Che.
isolated from the team a lot less during like basically after his stint with Akita and the Ice Emperor. He's been a lot like less isolated from the team.
Yeah.
Like say at the start of 12, he's like enthusiastically talking about like his favorite video games with the fellas and stuff like that.
I mean,
you know?
at risk of making this a Lloyd episode, like it does feel like with season 11 and 12, he has his own individual kind of arcs that are still connected to the team, but for the most part, his own. And then
Yeah,
by
but-
season 13 and 14, he kind of goes to the background. He's a supporting kind of guy. It would be
I mean,
nice if they got
the
like,
island is really good and continues that in some way.
oh yeah,
Not
definitely.
not to plug here, but my friend, my angry's friend, Cube, did this really great video on Lloyd and the island and how it like ties into his arc as a whole and kind of epitomizes it with like what he
We
says
should
to
get
Tim
Cube on the pod.
when he tells him
Twitchy
like
Tim.
yeah, when you've been like beaten down and screwed over, but that doesn't mean you have to like stay
Mhm.
down and hide, which is very similar to Lloyd after Harumi.
Yeah, the one little bit of arc in the island. But
It
yeah,
wasn't really
you know,
arc,
like,
more than it was just like
little tidbits.
more than it was just like showing us where Lloyd is after 10 years of
Mm.
content releases. Island is really good, honestly. But yeah, I think with a Harumi discussion, it's inevitably going to have elements of a Lloyd discussion because of how intertwined their characters are.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, like
Just
yeah,
Lloyd.
as far as Lloyd goes, I would like to see him like kind of make a balance where he does act as a supporting character, but he still has a very fairly big presence. What were you saying, Oik?
Yeah, because Master Spinjitzu to Secrets, he's kind of the main character.
Okay, okay,
I don't know, I was
fi-
interrupted. Go on.
okay. Okay, so I think about like with the Rumi and Lloyd, I think like if a Lloyd season ever gonna happen, I think it will be more like, oh, Lloyd had to for like confronting sins and all that. But you know, you can't say sins to the kids show, so something. And I feel like
You'd be surprised with what Adventure Time gets away with.
yeah. You can just say die and everything, but we can't show death.
To the point.
The point is like Harumi is Lloyd's biggest mistake in his life, and it's her and her anything about her is like is in there in his mind f up and life like trauma. You ever heard of that childhood trauma or something like that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's probably his trauma.
Oh, no,
and-
definitely.
Yeah, definitely his trauma. But like,
Which is why I think they can't just do like a generic movie ending because for people with that, it's not as simple as just like, oh, I just resurrect Harumi from the dead and just make up, and then I don't know, Harumi just goes and buggers off the departed realm. Because realistically, that doesn't happen like at all.
it's either doing the generic movie ending or doing the Steven Universe way, which I haven't watched Steven Universe Future yet. I might get into that.
Even Universe
think-
Future, the second half is super good. I haven't watched the first half, but the second half is super good.
Consider. But like they dealt trauma. I think they dealt trauma well. Not like
Oh yeah, no, they did
well.
they did a really good job of that.
Yeah.
I think something like that with Lloyd would be super good. But here's the thing, I don't know if it would work in the present day. I think if you placed it in between March of the Oni and Secrets, it would fit wonderfully. But after
He seems to be kind of
after Akita, after Vanya, after seeing her in Prime Empire, after what he said to Twitchy, I really can't see like. In case that if anyone didn't watch Future, which I mean, this is a Ninjago server, I could totally see that. Steven just goes off the deep end and like starts killing people and stuff, pretty much. Doesn't start killing people, but he
And then
shatters.
The next
Chop, chop.
question, and this is a discussion that I see brought up quite often, and it's usually in regards to the Russian accents displayed in Hunted part. The part
Russian
the thing. Yes,
communist.
there seems to be some people out there who believe that Hunted specifically is a metaphor for real world political ideologies. Specifically, the statement is that Iron
Time
Baron
goes right up. I want to say it.
is a
I'm
communist
communist,
because he
Garmadon's
has
a
a Russian
fascist.
accent, and Harumi is a fascist.
Iron Baron is a
I
bitch.
don't
Yeah,
want to
that's
discuss
communist.
the Iron Baron one because I want to make a monologue on that where I just rant for like 3 hours straight about how
Iron
it's
Baron
stupid.
isn't a communist because
Iron
he's
Baron is
Russian.
not
Iron
a
Baron's
communist.
He's not a
In the
communist.
slightest.
pretty good.
He is a
He's
Russian.
communist because he's a communist.
He's not even a real Russian. He's a fake Russian.
Fake Russian.
But,
It's awesome.
the
What
topic
are you
that
talking about? Russians are pale white and have top hats.
yeah, all Russians do.
Mm.
Every
Yeah,
single one,
trash.
and they ride on gigantic trucks.
Yeah, I just watched 2 Russian movies. They do exactly that.
Exactly. Every single Russian is like that. The
Yeah.
Harumi and Garmadon being fascists.
Harumi and Garmadon being fascists.
I think we should do this one in alphabetical order, actually.
Yeah, we could definitely do that. Do we want to? I mean, I'm not sure if everyone wants to add something to the discussion.
I do. They
Let's
absolutely
do it
are.
alphabet.
Look at. I think. Oh wait, we're doing it alphabetically, or am I
I
just?
feel like
doing
that would
it?
help a little.
Okay, let's
I
do
feel
that.
like
Then.
we're losing some people.
All right, Alexa. Is she
Okay.
just a girl boss?
Well, I'll just start this. I'm not the smartest person alive. I don't know too much about applying cartoons to real life, but I feel like Harumi by herself wouldn't necessarily be like a fascist or something, but the Sons of Garmadon as a group, maybe, because they were suppressing the people who were anti-Garmadon and forcing them to just like bow down and shut up. So kind of, but not necessarily Harumi by herself, I don't think. And that also, once again, has to do with how old I see her. So.
Solid. Okay, I guess I can go. Have some experience on deciding whether Ninjago characters ascribe to certain political ideologies. I may even have written a bit about Crux and him potentially being a fascist.
Crux is a good.
Dr. Sussy Saunders. But
Harumi.
Harumi, I don't think Harumi counts as a fascist by pretty much like any sort of definition you use. And I don't think like what she and Garmadon do can be described as that. I think the most you can say is that they like bully citizens. They're like authoritarian, I guess. I think that's pretty much all you can really say about what's going on in Hunted. I don't think there's any real commitment to any sort of like fascism, whether it's like ultra nationalism or if it's some sort of like rebirth. The only rebirth that's really happening is Garmadon himself.
I mean, that's kind of my issue with the idea that I don't believe that Harumi is a fascist. If we did really want to find a real world ideology that Harumi matches with, then maybe like a there's the thing is there's no real like dead on match. Like you can't say, oh, Harumi is a social democrat from the 1990s. And it's like no, you can't do that. But you guess you could have vague matches to like general reactionary movements, like maybe to like religious revivalist movements, or I guess you could the argument could be made that the people who would support a fascist in real life might support Harumi in Ninjago. That I think that's about as far as you could make the argument. But of course, there's the thing about fascism is an alliance between. Oh God, I'm going to sound like Lenin. Fascism is an alliance between capital and the middle class, and it's a reaction to growing worker sentiments. And there's none of that. There's none of that in Ninjago. There's no labor.
Capital doesn't get touched on until like very later.
Cyrus Borg, as far as I know, is not supporting the Sons of Garmadon. Although it would be funny if he did. Cyrus Borg is not supporting the Sons of Garmadon in order to wipe out the Serpentine labor activists. That's not happening. There's none of that.
Cyrus Borg and CIA confirmed.
Cyrus Borg and the police department are working with the Sons of Garmina. No, I think
He does have his own private.
yeah, he does have his own private military. Cyrus
private
Borg was the
police
fascist
force.
all along.
Sucks.
No, I think the argument could be made that there are some fascist tendencies that Harumi has, and even then you're pushing it. Yeah, I don't think Harumi's fascist. She's definitely a more reactionary person in that she thinks that returning to a previous state of affairs, or in this case an imagined previous state of affairs, but no, she's not a fascist in my mind. Although she uses similar tactics, right? She appeals to the same kind of people in a way, but she's not a fascist. And saying, like, as people were saying in the season chats just recently, saying, "Oh, Harumi's a fascist and Iron Baron is a communist." It's not quite. It's just not quite what not there yet. Although it is the right idea, I'd say.
Okay, I just want to say before I say my piece about privatized militaries and that before. Didn't the commissioner in season 6 pilot like a tank and just like body flintlock?
Oof.
Angry, you'd know this.
Oh yeah, definitely. They have like surface-to-air missiles in Skybound, the police department, for like no reason, and then like every other season.
Where
they just have
were
lasers.
they in every other season?
I guess the
have-
bunch
No,
just got
they
cut right
weren't.
after.
What the
The
hell?
commissioner,
Where were they?
Wait,
the
didn't they say
commissioner wasn't
something?
around until Skybound, I think.
Wait, didn't they say something about like around launch day owning about like the mayor and all that? They're cutting the budget or something.
Yeah, but like that makes sense. But why didn't they use them like say why didn't the commissioner get in a tank and like fire 50 shells at the
I
preempt?
guess they had to donate the tanks to Borg or something.
Yeah, that they donated to Cyrus Borg.
Yeah, Borg would take it apart and use it for an invoice. But yeah, I think Harumi and Garmadon absolutely are fascists. And I think I could be sold solely on the comparison of like what's like the first thing you think of when you think of the word fascist?
Germany.
Exactly.
Yes.
Look at
Harumi's a
look at
German.
their banner. No, but like look at
You're right.
look
You're
at the
right,
Sons of
actually.
Garmadon banners and then compare them to like Nazi Germany banners. They're like near identical. There has to be at least some allusion from
Are
that
they near
fascism.
identical?
They're
I mean,
similar.
yeah, they're red banners with white and black
The
symbols
logo.
on them. I mean, like
Oh.
the German one doesn't have too much black on it, if any. But like they are very, very, very similar.
Oh, Baklava, did we miss you?
Hello?
We keep
Hello.
missing the B's and the C's, I think.
Oh,
It's okay. We can blame Ember for it anyway.
yeah, I'm
Mm.
blaming Ember for it. He's talking too much.
Awesome.
But yeah, I think there are loads and loads of like allusions to like fascism from Haunted. Like the communism thing, I think it's definitely there. But like say Iron Baron appealing to like people who just want to be like safe and have like food and a roof over their head and that. But
Russian
like
accent.
but
Russian
using
accent is why he's a communist.
no, he isn't communist because he's communist, not because he's a Russian. But yeah,
Yes.
I think the Garland and Haruni like allusions to real life fascism are like practically get like on a giant bat which gets smacked into your face. They're just very very blatant about it. I think.
Baklava, you don't have any piece on this?
No, I agree with like what I forgot your name. I agree with Krusty.
God, I love that. I love how they weren't afraid to just do that.
Hmm. Okay. Yeah, I mean, I couldn't define fascism for you the same way Ember does because he's actually read theory.
Yes.
I have the Chapo definition, which
I hate you so much.
fascism is just capitalism coming home to roost, or imperialism coming home to roost, and that doesn't really define, I guess, fascism in this way. Yeah, I mean, Harumi really, she just wants a bigger surveillance state, I guess, and a more controlled kind of street. I'm not sure, but
1984. Sorry. It's just kind of
yeah.
Also, it doesn't
know.
help.
Is she
It
a
doesn't
populist,
help
or-
that Garmadon's literally called Emperor. But then again,
I
I
mean,
suppose the
populist is
original
bullshit.
Emperor is called Emperor, so that's fine.
I'm sorry to make the 1984. And
Well, thank you. Actually, you probably should have.
Should have been
George
Lord
Orwell,
Garmadon on my
1984,
face.
10,000 billion dead. Vuvuzela iPhone, Tiananmen Square.
2018 Ninjago City incident.
But like, yeah, no, we know she's got some popular support. I guess in that sense, she could be called a populist, even though that word's been
Yeah,
like,
she's just
driven
trolling.
out of meaning.
In some
Yeah, I
This is
don't
Harumi's
really-
Harumi
ideology
gets
at its
arrested
finest.
and her excuses. I was just doing a little bit of trolling.
Can you really blame
So
me for
true.
doing some trolling?
we do massive amount of trolling.
Yeah, but yeah, no, I don't really have a definite. I mean, Ninjago can get political. It has gotten political in later seasons. I mean,
Just say it.
directly
Please don't.
regarding that, the what is it? Source or no, the acquisition of capital requires blood and slave labor, stuff like that. But no, I don't think
After the mountain goat.
Harumi and Hunted is necessarily fascist.
Also, Kalmar basically just being an angry alt-right team.
Yeah,
Definitely watched a few too many YouTube videos.
Yeah.
yeah, he probably got stuck down that pipe.
Kalmar be like, yo, my favorite YouTuber is Mike Zero.
Alright. Should we try and get to like the last question then?
Yeah, we can definitely get to the last question.
Mhm.
Right.
My last question, it's a pretty simple question. Is Harumi a good character?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Maybe. Sort
Actually,
of.
she's incredibly well written. All of her scenes are really good. It's going to be a solid no from me.
No, she's not a good character.
What?
You can go back.
You just gotta take off.
Yeah, she's written well.
Yeah. Yes, she is written well. I like her character and all.
I'm back.
Well-
Someone just came into my room and told me to leave.
Oh, okay.
I don't think she's as well written as villains like Kozu and Cryptor, though. They're like a little bit.
Here's the thing. Here's the thing
Stop showing your
about
affinity for gamers.
Here's the thing about Harumi. She's like incredibly well written. All of her scenes are great. She has perfect character dynamics with every character. But all in all, she's shit. I prefer Cryptor.
Yeah,
I mean,
I really
Cryptor
like that
does-
guy who
is
like
quite
just
sexy.
trips and
Yeah,
dies.
I think the
Yeah, the
Overlord
partner.
has a lot more emotionally investing than Harumi.
Yeah, let's pull the Ninja Warrior. The Overlord's the best villain. You cannot say
Awesome.
no more.
No, man.
I've been
Kozu-
blocked by Ninja Warrior at least like 5 times.
I don't know what it is with him, but he really likes the Overlord.
I have no idea why.
Yeah,
I guess he's
must be the brain worms.
interested
I don't get
in being
He's a
taken
simp.
over.
Yeah, but what is it? I mean, Nora mentioned this, I think, in your server, Krusty. Sometimes she seems like she's playing 4D chess, or she's a little too smart.
But you're playing
Sometimes.
teachers.
No, I know, I see the discussion. I understand that, but I just completely disagree with it. I gotta be honest.
Yeah.
She
Yeah,
has
for
to
the
know
most
the
part, she
Pixel
has
of
to say
Samurai X, and she has no way of doing that. Grrr.
She is literally the daughter of the dude who
must be-
controls the city. She can probably easily access like some
I mean,
surveillance footage of her.
Yeah,
taking
with
down
that, she's also like she
She
not only has like the
Harumi
well,
has so many connections, being the princess of Ninjago.
yeah, she's got
It's a-
she's
it's
a
a-
princess.
It's like
And
you
she's
wouldn't be surprised if like Joe Biden knew a whole lot, would you?
Yeah, not only that, but she's got a fucking biker gang on her side, but covertly. She's infiltrated covertly, I guess.
Yeah.
Here's the
So she's got 2 different lenses to look from.
Yeah, basically
Yeah,
she's
40
just
chess
control.
is
So
fully
basically,
sensible.
she's literally playing 4D chess, and everyone's just got pawns.
Yeah.
Oh, one thing that I think was like very confusing was like the actual Oni ritual, and I haven't thought about it too much, but like the fact that it requires the hair of like the relatives, right? What happens if Wu didn't pop out of the time stream? Would she just be screwed?
Alright.
Yes.
I mean,
I
she
mean,
probably
but-
could
how many
have
did she
convinced
need?
Then again,
Lloyd.
she probably just could have winged it with Misako and Lloyd.
I mean, does she need all three?
Just
really?
get a-
That's the real
Just get a
question.
Garmadon with
Yeah,
like
she only
three
knew Lloyd.
arms, one leg.
I think the only reason she had the baby was so that she could get into the Oni mask, right?
I
How's
guess
she
she just
gonna
wanted
get
to
the
amplify
mask
it.
with the baby?
The more,
She's just gonna
the
throw
more
the
hairs,
baby
the
into
Yeah,
the
I imagine the more hairs, probably the stronger the Garmadon you're gonna get.
Sarah, are you quoting
But
that?
why Misako?
Harumi, of course, Masako be related to like the whole Garmadon thing. Second of all, Masako hasn't done anything for like what the past 5 years. Of course, we gotta bring her in. We're like, oh, great, Masako. Let's bring Masako back for some reason. She practically
I mean-
worthless.
I mean,
I guess
here's
it's
a
a nice moment.
here's a take. Misako is a good mother.
I agree.
I can already hear. Yeah, but like, here's the thing,
I agree.
right? Everyone looks at season 2 where she makes that completely stupid decision to ditch Lloyd, right?
Yeah.
And
Yes.
then they ignore scenes like the one in season 8, while everyone's partying, being like, "Aye, we beat up Harumi and threw him in prison. Good work, us." She's like the only one who goes and like emotionally supports Lloyd after he just got his heart broken and almost saw his father come back. Right? She's the only one of the entire team who goes and supports him. Right? Everyone else is off busy doing karaoke with Dareth or something while they're drunk.
Wait, we can't say drunk. It's a kids show. It must
I
be.
mean, yeah. There's someone.
Cheers.
I mean, we see a drunk guy in Sons of Garmadon in the background of the bar scene.
Oh, yeah,
in
that-
episode
it's so far in the
77.
back.
This one Sons of Garmadon guy is like, I think it's a girl. I'm not sure. I can't remember. They're sipping on their boba, and then they
I
like
thought that was
stumble
just
up,
like
and
some
then
guy. Just the
I'm not.
drunk.
No, it's the Sons of Garmadon. But like, they're like, sipping on their boba like idly, and then they start stumbling and that, and then they just fall over.
No,
The
that
drunk
was Geo.
sailor in Skybound.
Oh yeah, that's also right.
Oh yeah!
And
No, I
and-
forgot about him.
and Kai
Wait,
in
when
Kai was
Kai-
drinking gaming
season 4. No, he was
Oh.
near
Drinking
college.
fighter juice.
No, that was Juice.
It's fighter juice. It's like Gatorade, I guess, which is also unhealthy for you, but not,
Drunk.
get you drunk.
Who is
Kai's
Averett
gonna kill
texting
himself
us?
soon with all those drinks.
He
But
hasn't
get
drunk much
sober.
in years. Yeah, that point about Misako being a bad mother, I think we touched on this last episode.
Yeah.
Which we
She's
haven't
definitely a
talked about.
mediocre mother. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
She's
Gotten
not
better.
like a bad mother, but I mean her bad more or less.
I mean,
I
she
know.
does care
You
for
can see she's a bit of a stupid. But like, say when she ditches Lloyd at the boarding school, it's a stupid decision. But you can see why
Well, you
she
have to
did
consider
it.
she had to get those 10,000 hours.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and
she just-
she ultimately did it for the good of Lloyd, right?
She just like, all right, time to ditch my stuff to school. All right, time to read books for life. And like her son
Yeah,
came
'cause
back.
she wanted to try and stop him from having to kill his father in cold blood, which is it's definitely like, what's the word? It's definitely an admirable effort, but I think
A-plus for effort.
she went about it wrong. Yeah,
Definitely a real moment.
I mean, Lloyd turned out pretty fine.
I mean, yeah,
So-
given the fact that he was
You
raised
can,
among
you
like
can.
shit,
Yeah,
super
let's ignore
villains.
the fact he released like snakes and
He
like,
released the
stuff.
certainty and inadvertently
Yeah.
caused Garmadon to come back and be a fascist, which inadvertently caused like
The Oni
I mean,
I mean,
invasion.
he kind
the
of caused.
Oni invasion, the events that end up leading to what's the face, the sphere coming out. Hold on, I'm getting a phone call.
Well, it's because of him that all the bad stuff happens, isn't it?
It would have been better if
She should have had the abortion.
He is like Ember. He brings every bad stuff.
No, you are literally a Greek.
No, yes.
Greece is a lovely place.
Shut up.
You said
yeah.
that in our
Oh,
world?
Greece is a lovely place. I love Greece.
Okay. That was the last question, right?
Nancy was my first holiday. I
Yeah, that was
absolutely
the last
adore
question.
that
And I
place.
think we're kind of getting a little sidetracked here. So
feel like
Okay.
do we have anything else we can like kind of bring up with Harumi, or were those enough? You guys feel like that was enough?
That moment in Prime Empire.
Oh yeah, she's well written there.
Yeah,
I think
I
we,
kind of felt that moment in Prime Empire felt forced.
it did feel out of place. Yeah, I think we got a pretty good assessment. Yeah, she's generally a pretty justifiable character with pent trauma and probably a fascist. Very emotional and. Anyone want to add anything else? We basically got a pretty good assessment on her.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm just
I
going to
like
wrap
these
this up by
others.
saying Harumi is cool. A+ from me.
Yeah, I do really like Harumi.
And I'm also going to say that the second they bring her back is the second that the entire show is ruined. I'm also going to say that.
You're just gonna quit the show straight up because of
No,
Harumi.
no, yeah, genuinely. Unless they do it like
Well.
incredibly well.
And with that, we are, I guess, signing off. We can plug at this point.
Unless they,
Yes, we can.
I want to finish my Harumi spiel. Unless they bring her back really, really well, there is like a 90% chance that bringing her back will completely destroy, or not destroy, but destroy like half of Ninjago's mistakes.
Yeah, you can't do it like they did Garmadon, I guess.
Yeah, that's it. I think it's a very different thing.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, I guess we are basically done. Alexa,
Harumi,
you saw that
good.
YouTube channel?
What?
You saw that YouTube channel?
Yeah, you can plug your YouTube
Plug it,
and
basically.
Yes, go subscribe to Krusty783 YouTube.
not you, Alexa.
I'm in order here.
I'm an idiot. I was scrolling through social media and didn't.
Wow.
I might
Is
as
that
well
what you've
plug your
been doing
Twitter.
the entire time? My face went.
Yeah, we can obviously link them in our
That's
video
pretty
description as well.
Okay.
Can you add my
Follow me
Twitter?
on Twitter for the best opinions ever.
Follow me on Twitter for even better opinions.
Do not follow Krusty on Twitter. Trust me.
So follow me on Twitter. I will spam retweets. It'll be really funny.
Krusty blocked me for saying correct sucks. He's silencing your opinions. Don't follow him.
I didn't block you for saying crack sucks, but that's not a half bad idea.
Wait, you
Alright.
have me blocked?
No, that's not a half bad idea. I took it on that.
No.
And,
Yes, and we'll be blocked. No crack slam.
Alright.
You're being an Iron Baron.
Did we mention what Alexa Dov's YouTube channal is?
If you don't like crack, this is
No,
you won't.
as well.
I believe it's still just Alexa Dov, right?
Alright, follow me on Twitter and Reddit for the most unbased opinion.
Angry
Wait,
Review.
man.
I want to say this as my last message. Play Dead Space. Dead Space is pretty awesome. Please. I need friends.
Yeah,
Yes,
you do.
We're plugging the multi-million-dollar AAA game here in our little tiny show.
Awesome.
Okay, here's what you really need to do. You need to watch BoJack Horseman and play Breath of the Wild.
Okay, I'd like to
Space.
plug this little kind of unknown shopping site. It's called Amazon. You might have heard of it. Also, Microsoft. They make some nice hardware.
What's Amazon?
I want to check it out.
I've never heard of that.
The guy behind him
There's
is
this thing
really good
called
microchips.
Halo.
Fire. It kind of warms you. I think it's pretty cool. You might want to check that out.
Hey, speaking of which, I mean,
I'll
you
give
gotta-
it a look.
I think everyone's been trying it these days.
while we're talking about Microsoft, we should probably support the guy behind it. He kind of just got a really bad divorce.
Yeah.
Yeah,
He
he's been
got really bad
embarrassed
divorce.
for a
I
while.
mean,
you can
he
support
didn't even
that
do.
opinion.
I mean, to be fair, he didn't even do that much to deserve to be divorced. I mean,
All right, I
Yeah.
think we might end up ending this
I mean,
out.
his
I'm just gonna say
therapist-
I'm gonna
what is it?
quit the recording.
Shout out to
Therapist
my
a while
boy
back.
Grice. Right, That's
Twitter.com/angrybirdstar_.
Follow me on
Follow
Twitter,
me on
please.
Twitter.com.
follow me on Twitter